but I've been to 13 therapists for different specialities. Yeah.
Damn.
I actually wrote down all the things I have problems with. 31.
You could learn something off of all those like sessions, you know.
31. I've been diagnosed with 31 things.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've only ever had one therapist, but I've only ever been with that one therapist long enough to be diagnosed with one thing, which to me doesn't sound like anything serious. It just sounds like a normal thing, but they just gave it a name, which was major depressive disorder or something like that. And they tried to prescribe me pills, and I did not like it. I didn't like the change. I just did not take them, and I decided to like kind of try to, deal with it myself, like sober, I guess, you know.
I think one of the biggest things that isn't talked about enough is there are millions of people that are suffering with the same thing. So mental illness and just life, we're so isolated. Well, we think we're isolated. I mean, at least now you can go online and find people with like similar problems.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can actually talk about it.
There
But
are, what is it, like-minded people? There's a lot of like-minded people in your area.
I mean, I need to research how many people come from my background, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Trump would not be president if there wasn't. But yeah, I'd say, did you say you've been in therapy?
Yeah.
Obviously, to be diagnosed, yeah, you have to be like,
Yeah, and I didn't
Some-
willingly choose. I mean, I was okay with it, but it was when I was in high school, and was one teacher who was always attentive, and he always saw something was wrong with me all the time. So he recommended me a therapist, and he told me on the side nonchalant, what's the word? Exclusively, he told me don't want you to be mad at me, but I don't recommend you to a therapist, blah blah. And I thanked him for it, because I would have never gotten to do that for myself. Hey.
How's it going?
yeah, 31. One of them you can actually see by looking at me. Can you guess?
Nah, I'm not that educated, I guess.
I have an overeating disorder.
Oh.
So you can see one of them. That's funny. Until it's not.
I mean, it's not that
No, it's growing up in a cult. Anxiety manifests in the lack of metabolism. But
Yeah, I used to have the opposite effect growing up. I ate one, maybe 2 meals a day. And, I'd always kind of just stay skinny, so.
it's usually people develop these kind of things in order to feel like they have control over, especially if you're underage. To have control over an environment where there is no control.
And then at the same time, you get you program yourself through your own actions.
Well, I better get going before I haven't worked since Sunday.
Good vacation.
Not unless you think being in bed with a fever and using up 3 tissue boxes in 24 hours is a vacation.
No, but I usually try to make the best out of stuff. One time I tore some muscle in my leg or whatever, and I had to sit. And the worst of it was when I was trying to sleep, but at least during the day to keep my mind off of it, I was trying to draw and use that time to actually draw. But it was more because I wanted to take my mind off of the pain. If you don't think about it, it's kind of not there. I'm more focused on something. And I ended up creating one of the best pieces that I had did, and I was proud of myself. And it was 3 days, and each day was 4 to 6 hour sessions, so it was a 15